parties had must have anticipated. Even the exit polls failed at some level to expect such kind of results in this state of West Bengal. I am joined by senior journalist Pratim Ranjan Bose, who has been covering West Bengal for a very, very long time. Pratimji, welcome to Organizer. Pratim sir, how do you read these results? Because it is something I think probably the BJP leaders were not expecting. These numbers, they are too big. Bengal is finally seeing a change after 15 years. How do you read these numbers?
This election to me is not equivalent to 2011. This is primarily anti-establishment vote, but it is not equivalent to 2011. This is equivalent to some extent to 1977, when
Hmm.
out of no almost there was no kind of there was no campaigning or etc. It was all whisper campaign. But then even for 1977 there was a huge build up of emergency and all those things, right? So this
Hmm.
time, the a very interesting feature of this election is it was the most unpredictable election from our standpoint.
Hmm.
Uh, Till 2000, 2 months ago or 3 months ago, there was grievances on ground, but we didn't find, it was BJP was not that ready. So it was grievances. There was no surety that these grievances will be transferred to the ballot box. Okay.
Hmm.
Then suddenly something changed. I understand in hindsight, lot many things helped. For example, the hype that was created by Trinamool on SIR,
Hmm.
it is my anticipation is that it actually bounced back on them, because see, if such a hype was not created, probably a lot many things would have passed more smoothly, and people might not have come to this level to vote.
Hmm.
So what happened at the end was that lot many sleeping voters,
Hmm.
that who are normally, they don't, okay, you might tell that about the migrant workers, that BJP or RSS have done some, they did something to ensure that they go. But what about the Calcutta Bhadraloks?
Hmm.
Okay, they came down and voted. This year's Calcutta election result was hugely influenced by the middle class, Calcutta middle class and upper middle class. This
Hmm.
particular segment generally is very low in casting their votes, but this year they voted, and normally they are against, not so much in favor of BJP or but they have all gone down and to cast their vote, and it went to against the TMC. Had it been a normal year, probably these people would have been sleeping at home, kind of.
Hmm.
Okay, so I believe a lot of things. There were huge grievances. One thing is certain, that there was huge pent up anger against Trinamool. Last 3 4 days, it all started. People were silent throughout. They started opening up from 48 hours ahead of the second phase. That is
Hmm.
when I suddenly found that there is so much of anti-establishment sentiment that is coming out. And then they started saying that they are going to vote it out, vote TMC out. But after the election, I pursued, and sometimes I pursued the same man to understand that whether they actually voted. And believe you me, I spoke on in private to many
Hmm.
people that I anticipate a huge wave voting. So when a wave comes, then everything goes out of the context. So all have
Right.
gone. It is now BJP is probably closer to the two-third majority.
Right. Uh, so the entire day you must have talked about what really worked in the favor of BJP and what not worked it for Mamta Banerjee. But from you, I would like to understand that what kind of challenges BJP is going to face in the next 5 years, starting from the post-poll violence to the issue of infiltration. What are those major challenges that BJP has to reach out first? What are those issues?
Okay. First is they have to stop post-poll violence. They have to bring the state back out of this abominable practice that was instilled by the left since the
Hmm.
1960s of political violence. Politics must be a common thing. People must debate. People must discuss politics. People must do politics, but they must not do this violence. So the
Right.
preventing the post-poll violence of 2026, any possibility of it by strong arm of law. So that will give BJP a good image. Number
Hmm.
one, it's a priority. Now that said, now as soon as it will be in the government, there are many challenges waiting for it. Number one is Trinamool destroyed the administrative, including police administration capacities. The situation is so bad that the state doesn't have many, in fact, probably not a single one, chief secretary material, because it simply shunted out or garaged, it destroyed the people, just it's unbelievable. You can't believe this, but even a chief secretary in West Bengal doesn't
Hmm.
have a command on the bureaucracy, right? It is unbelievable, but that is the case in West Bengal. We can discuss in detail in some other occasion. Second problem is the finances. Now, see, first, BJP has doubled down on the dolls. I understand, of course, it was required to win the voters. That is perfect. But the finances are in such a bad condition that Mamata Banerjee only last year withdrew even the incentives given to the industry 30 years ago, promised to the industry 30 years ago. So the investments came and they set up the factories. They were getting some tax reliefs and etc. It was scrapped and industries were asked to pay it back.
Hmm.
Okay, in retrospect, this is bad in law. This cannot be proven. We know what happened to the retrospective tax at the center.
Hmm.
So this will go. The financial condition of the state is awfully bad. The BJP already promised to give DA and etc., which it should. There, a huge administrative reform is necessary. The whole law and order machinery is ruined. It needs to be. It's serious infusion of bloods. West Bengal has one of the lowest population to police ratios. The culture of lawlessness that has been instilled in this state, so it will have some tough time to do that. But what is a
Hmm.
priority on the economic front? It was a very prosperous state 5 or 6 decades
Hmm.
ago.
Hmm.
Out of 30 share Sensex, 25 shares were headquartered in Calcutta back in 1988. We enumerated.
Hmm.
Even in 1992, when I joined the profession, at least 12 to 14 stocks were headquartered, Sensex stocks were headquartered in Calcutta. Today, we barely have one.
Hmm.
So, and Bengalis look at this shameful situation that as the Bengal was witnessing 92%, 93% polling, the entire
Hmm.
country was complaining of lack of house helps. Okay. It is Bihar,
Right.
I mean, sorry to say this, but it is Bihar started with a very low base. They were very
Hmm.
poor. But
Hmm.
they made a West Bihar out of West Bengal. So
Hmm.
first is we have to work on a war footing to remove this stigma. Our people should go out for better jobs. That's
Hmm.
perfect. But this Bengalis, I mean, that Bengalis are going out to work as house help is a huge stigma that will go against the state. We have to
Hmm.
work on a war footing to remove that. So the jobs, low level, low skill jobs have to be created. I understand that the government will come out with a lot of construction and other things because West Bengal completely missed out on the infrastructure building activity of the Modi government. Okay.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
understand that the government will take, but it has to negotiate with a lot of issues. I don't think that it can just go whole hog because the bad culture of land issues that is created in the state. So it has to go a little steadily,
Hmm.
slowly. Meanwhile, industries, it had planned it right to invite industries in the already acquired lands in Singur, Dugapur, Holdia. Good plan. But obviously, it will take time to really instill confidence, give confidence to investors. I don't see a lot of prospect of industries coming in next 5 years. And even if they are coming, the investment is coming, it will take at least 5 years to give you fruit. So
Hmm.
a serious problem in managing the administration, serious headwind in managing the administration, managing law and order, managing the state finances. So a whole lot of reforms. This state needs huge reforms, huge, deep
Hmm.
reforms. Over to you.
Sir, last question. BJP has been, known for their Hindutva politics, and while the elections, when it all began, Mamta said that Jai Shri Ram nahi chalega. What kind of politics BJP needs to do different from the other states to make sure that the way TMC stayed for 15 years or left state for 34 years, because Bengal is known for giving a lot of years to one political party. So what what kind of politics BJP needs to do different from other states that they are already doing, or whether they should just go with the kind of politics they already do? What you would say about it?
Good question. No one asked me about it. This kind of politics that the state was doing was creating electoral autocracies where the ruler misuses its power and rigs election, converts a state economy into a Gestapo state where people are under surveillance. They are, the opposition is not given space. Huge violence is unleashed against the opposition. Now that had taken us to such a poor situation. If BJP is really serious to bring it out, and which it should do, in that case many changes are required. And as you do go for that change, so firstly it must go for development oriented politics. To do that, on the political front, see, BJP originated from Bengal. Its origin is in Bengal. But
Right.
very unfortunately, what happened is in between it shifted. After the death of Sama Prasad Mukherjee, the that route was lost, and then because of the long left rule and a lot of it, there had been a serious misconceptions have been created over here. Now
Hmm.
I understand that if I go strictly by the Hindutva, what RSS says as Hindutva is nothing but
Hmm.
Bharatiya, right?
Right.
Indianness.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So I for long have been asking people in RSS that why don't you instead switch to this word? It's far more, because there cannot be an Indian without a Hindu in it. Okay, simple. Hindu in a philosophical, in a cultural, civilizational stance. I'm talking about. It's a civilizational state. If it's a civilizational country, then Hindu is at the center of it. So that way, ignoring Hindu, nothing can happen. But we must, it's just change of, it's a bit of semantics. It's change of definitions. You must project. And secondly, I believe because of this, some, I'm sorry to say, but it is, you will see Shomik Bhattacharya has a completely different approach when he speaks, right? So that kind of softer approach of the ruler will have, I think, is more required, because to keep the elites, to keep the social elites in tow. Because if
Hmm.
you try to, what Mamata Banerjee did is she thought that she can purchase anyone, right?
Right. Right.
So so that is what she expected. We all to fall at her feet. Many did, but some of us didn't. So now, if you want to take the, if you want to rebuild the state, you have to rebuild the state. So in that case, you have to create the space where the elite can come. Many people are outside Bengal. They will come. They will be
Hmm.
back into the state, and the state will
Hmm.
be richer in its, in its resources.
Hmm.
Whoever is in the government needs resources to run this state. So the human resources I'm talking about. So that way they must take a little more, the kind of approach that Shomik Bhattacharya takes. To my
Hmm.
understanding, I'm not. That doesn't mean that I'm not saying that. I'm talking about simply the how you should project yourself. I'm not here. I'm not using Shomik Bhattacharya as a person, but as a,
Hmm.
just to define what is expected, kind of.
Hmm.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Pratim
so
sir,
much,
for your
Pratim sir, for
insights
your
into
insights
the
into
West
the
Bengal
West Bengal
politics and
politics and
elections.
West Bengal elections.
Viewers,
Viewers,
we will be
we
back with you at 7 o'clock once Prime Minister Modi will be done with his address at the BJP headquarters. It's a big day for Bharatiya Janata Party. They have made, I would say, a comeback in West Bengal because, as Pratim sir also pointed out, that the party was it was found, it has its roots from West Bengal. So this is definitely a comeback for the party in the state. Thank you so much, Pratim sir, once again. And viewers, जी जी and viewers, please join us again at 7 o'clock. Namaste.